for content. And what I did is I just kind of like reposted everything. We kind of turned it into a Muni Long blog. And I think that's kind of what got it to be what it was. We just reposted every video.
She just gave a major gem. You drop a, what do we do?
One of the biggest obstacles artists face in the music game is access. Getting access to the people that can make it happen, or access to the information and resources you need to get to the next level. That's the key. That's why you need two of the biggest in the game on your side. Introducing McKee, Boomman. Welcome to the real industrial plug. You heard me?
So now that we've established who the queen is, you know what I'm saying? Now that we've established that, let's get into it. Because I wanted to tell your journey to how you got here. Okay. You know what I mean? But now that we've established that, let's get into it. Let's start from the beginning, your very first project, Muni Long.
Yes.
So you started working Muni Long 2021, I think, was it July?
I would say like October.
Of 2021?
Yes, 2021.
All right, October of 2021, you started working Muni Long's project, right?
Right.
So what was that introduction? So this is your, by the way, this is your first ever music project.
Yeah.
So what was that introduction like? Well,
I mean, okay. Let's start from the beginning. Like when I first met her and was just like around the team, like I was just like excited. Like, you know, I had no idea. I had no like, you know, when you assume what's the outcome, like I had no idea what the result would be. I was just there, you know, just like, yay, content, you know, had no idea, you know. Then I got to know her as an artist and I thought, wow, like she can sing, she's funny. There's so many great things about her. I can't wait to tell the world, you know what I mean? So it kind of started like that. And then she was already an amazing content creator herself. So to be able to just kind of like watch her and really like every day, just watch her create content, it almost trained me, because when you're creating content for an artist or just for anybody, you kind of have to become them. Yeah. So I almost had to study her. Like when we went out with her, I would study her. I would study what she says. I would, you know, pay attention to the little details, because I'm her when I'm posting, you know what I'm saying? To everyone else. So boom, so you studied her, and I do want to reiterate something you said. She is a content creator. Like a lot of people don't know Muni Long as Priscilla Renee. She got her first deal from being a YouTube curator. Right. You know what I mean? She was one of the first big artists on YouTube, because she was putting out content every day. And so she's a brilliant content creator. And I always tell artists that we work with since her is that the reason we were able to move so fast with her is because she was a content creator. She already knew.
And so not only was she creating her own content from her own mind, she was also creating everything you sent her. And so it's like she was working with two minds. Because she was creating on her own and creating what you sent her. You know what I mean? And like she would literally, like if Jasmine would send her something, and 30 minutes later it was coming back. I would get the content. It was coming back.
Matter of fact, I'd have a Dropbox of about 200 videos constantly being updated, where I could just pull whatever I wanted out of it, you know? We were always ready.
So let's talk about, so that was your introduction to her. So what happened once the song blew up? Like, did it change? Like, how did y'all work? Like, how did y'all work relationship change? You know, now that more content was necessary, or who made the decision we need more content? Like, what was that moment like where it's like, oh, it's working?
So, okay. The moment it was working, where I knew it was going to work. It wasn't necessarily working yet, but I just knew it was going to work. I had posted this video of her selfie in the car, and I was like, song is so good. Let me, because I could have used any song I wanted. I kind of had like free reign, but I chose Hours and Hours, and it was just a random video of her in her car, and I just put like her song over it and like words over it, and I posted it, and I think it got like 6,000 likes at the time, which for her, that was a lot in the moment, you know? And I was like, whoa, like this song is about to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like every piece of content after that 4 hours and hours just went crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the piece of content that started the trend? Do you remember?
Yes. I don't remember their names, but I know it was a couple.
Yeah, it was Breezy and her, I don't know if they're fiancé still or they're married now, but her fiancé at the time.
Yes. So Coop, y'all remember Coop?
Yeah, Coop from All American.
Yes, from All American. So yeah, they did a video to it, and that was just like what set off, you know, the fire of Hours and Hours. Once I posted that, I think it got like 1 million views on TikTok.
And so what was it like to keep up with that? Like, in the midst of it going so crazy, what was it like? Because I think we got to the point where we were posting 8 times a day.
Yeah. So basically, I would just always look at the creates, and like every day, it was something new. We would go on TikTok. We would go on Instagram Reels. We looked everywhere. We were in the shadows, okay? We were looking everywhere for content. And what I did is I just kind of like reposted everything. We kind of turned it into a Muni Long blog. And I think that's kind of what got it to be what it was. We just reposted every video.
She just gave a major gem. What do we do?
We created a blog. We created a Muni Long blog through her own page. We turned her socials
into like a Muni Long blog versus a personal page. You know what I mean? And I like to say Muni Long TV.
Yeah.
Is what we turned it into. And we were posting 8 times a day. I remember like I would look up every hour and I'd be like, yo, ain't nothing new get posted. What we doing?
Y'all, it was the holidays. It was like Christmas. And it was like, Jasmine. I'm like, all day, you know?
Okay, bet. So boom, your first project, your first artist goes #1. You know what I mean? Well, how were you feeling in that moment?
It was, I never even thought of this moment. So I was just like watching everything, you know, just like in awe, like, did this really just happen? Because honestly, it's a testament to you because you told me this is what we were going to do.
Yeah.
You know, you told me that he right here told me this months prior. And I was just like, okay, you gonna talk. We'll see.
Listen.
And to see it happen, like, can we drop something for JR?
No, for sure. I appreciate it. But I mean, I knew that if we had the content right, it was game over. And that's the conversation I had with her. And then that's also just the whole thought process of NPR. I knew that having a content team was going to set us apart from every other label. Like, I knew that they don't have that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where the game is now. So I knew it was going to set us apart. So I'm grateful you came in. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
So talking to artists that want to get to where Muni Long ascended to, what would be the let's just give them 3 steps. What would be the 3 steps from the content queen to be able to make a #1 record?
To make a #1 record?
Yeah.
So
not making the song itself, I'm saying like using the content to make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say #1 is consistency. Okay. No matter what it looks like, no matter what you're going through, make content. Okay.
Yeah.
And do it consistently. #2, do your research, because when #1 ain't working, where you can't just wake up and make a TikTok, you might need to do some research first to make that TikTok, because you're always going to find online what's working. And that's a lot of times what we do is we look at trends, we look at what's working, and then we kind of create it and make it our own way and do it like that. The third one, just be creative, be you, and don't be afraid to be you.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Because that was one thing Muni Long was never afraid to do, was to be her and to show that to the world. It was like nothing unsaid. Everything goes. You know what I mean?
Right. True, sir. Okay. So bam. So let's say I'm a new artist, and how do I go about finding a Jasmine? Like, you know, I can't get to the real Jasmine Jones, but I need a content creator on my team. What would your advice be to them to how do they find that person?
I mean, you can always contact NPR Global. I mean, I say look at who's around you. Look at who's always on their phone, always trying new things, not afraid to try new things, and kind of look at literally who's beside you, because you never know who it's going to be. I'm sure JR never thought it would be me, but look at who's around you and see, you know, what other people are doing. Like,
right. And then if you want, on the opposite of that, if you want to be a Jasmine Jones, if you want to be a content creator, you do what you do. Well, you do what Jasmine did. You reach out. Like, she went to Creflo Dollar.
Yeah.
She came to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She went to the different brands.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't have to wait for somebody to tell you.
Never wait.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be waiting a long, long time.
Yeah. So you gotta go after what you want.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into this. you helped make #1 artists, but then you had the opportunity to branch outside of music. Let's talk Victor. Let's talk Victor Oladipo.
Okay.
So right now in this moment, you know, you're head of content for Victor, right? What is the difference? Like, what is it like working NBA versus music, or is it all the same?
To be honest, it's like all the same. Like, just in terms of just posting and like what's trending, all that coincides with everything. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is with music, you're adding your music to it. You're making your music the trend. You know what I'm saying? So I say it's pretty similar.
So have you had any difficulties transitioning into you know, basketball content or anything like that? Or is it all just
honestly, I love it because it's different, because it kind of opens my creativity a little bit more. It causes me to look at things that I've never like looked at before. Like, I'm not really into basketball, but I'm like learning something new. So I like it. It's a good,
So at the day, I know why people hire you. They hire you because they want to build a brand. Right. Even the artists themselves, they want to build brands.
Right.
So how are you using content to build brands?
The biggest thing is telling their story. Like, I think across the board, that's how people are building brands, by building their story.
Yeah. Like, so help us, enlighten us. Give us the examples. Like, how do we build a story using content?
I mean, even you like,
you can use me as an example.
I'm trying to think of how to say it without dropping too many personal.
Okay, listen, you have full permission to use JR's personal information. Go ahead. How do I tell a story through my content to build my brand?
So, I mean, you told your story when we first began, right? You told your story of how you became a millionaire. Yeah. You know, I was like, JR, we have to have something that people can want to relate to, that's shareable, that's, you know, drops value. So JR shared how he became a millionaire, and he shared, like, starting from the bottom, you know what I mean? Things people can relate to. And I think that's what drew me in and drew everybody else in, was that. And I think that's what you start with. You start with you. You don't fake it till you make it. You show who you really are. And I think that's
where you are at that moment. Yeah. So I always tell people, like, the worst thing you can do is try to be something you're not, or be somewhere you're not. Yeah. Because the thing about it is, wherever you are, there are millions of people that can relate to it. If you're stuck in your apartment and you only can eat ramen noodles because that's all you can afford, I guarantee if you show that, there are going to be millions of people who say, man, me too.
No, seriously.
Man, I rock with him. He a real nigga. I rock with him. And then there's also going to be another million of people saying, man, I remember I was there.
Exactly.
I fuck with him. I remember when all I could eat was noodles.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then it's going to be more people like, dag, man, I wish I had my own apartment like him. Right. I'll eat noodles if I can have my own apartment like him. I'm still So it's like, from every angle, there are going to be people that see that as relatable.
And as I'm working with all these artists, I've noticed, and a lot of them start out are already big followings. And I always go back to that method of telling their story, because that's always something that grasps people, because people don't know your story most of the time. People, especially if you're already established, you need to go back and you need to tell that story. Like, that's what I always start with.
Okay, so if you want to build your brand, the #1 rule is tell your story wherever you are. If you rich in the suburbs, guess what? There are a lot of people that want to be just like you. So when you tell that story, they're going to say, man, I rock with him. That's where I'm trying to be. And then you're going to have the other rich suburbs people like at your show, and they're going to pay you that $1,000 for that t-shirt.
Exactly.
Because they got it. You know what I mean? So always be true to where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so Jasmine, let me ask you some detailed questions, man, because I know there are a lot of people that want to be in your shoes, that want to work for a label, and I want to work with the type of clientele you work with.
Right.
So is there anything that, quote unquote, mistakes you may have made that you can stop them from making? You know what I mean? What are some of the things that you look back and say, I could have did that better?
I don't like to think of mistakes, but if I had to, and I'm just kidding. Yeah. I mean, I think I always think every day I can do better. Like, in terms of just consistency and being creative, I think every day I always try to be better from the next day. But I mean, I think simple mistakes like making the words wrong. or like, you know,
yeah,
things
that's
like that.
one of my pet peeves. When Jasmine posts content and the words are wrong, oh my God, it drives me crazy. Or when she misspells stuff. It was one rapper.
I think it was Lil Durk or something like that.
Was it Lil Durk?
I think so.
And she misspelled Lil. How do you misspell?
See, what had happened
Lil
was
Durk?
sometimes you working real fast. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's a perfect point to point out. A lot of people don't know how easy it is to make content because of all the apps that you have. So, what are some of the apps that you're using today?
So, okay. Let me give you a story about the app that I'm using. It's called InShot, and I was looking through my page the other day, and the first time I ever used it, it was for my gender reveal for my first daughter a few years ago, and I got 15 million views. That was like my second viral. It was
Queen of content in the building.
Crazy.
Take notes.
I can't believe that, but it had a little InShot on the side of it, and I was just like, this is where it started.
Wow.
So InShot is a fire app. I use that to, like, you know, on TikTok when you want to add the words, well, I use an outsourced app called InShot that like adds the words, but you always want to make it look similar to the apps that you're using.
Yeah. So the font needs to look similar to something you would find on TikTok. Yeah.
So that it just looks like TikTok content. Another app that I've been looking at is called VLLO. Don't forget that app. That is the new up and coming app. Yeah. I just gave you some sauce right there. Not too many people are going to tell you about that, but this is like next level type of content. This is like we're on to the next chapter. That's what that is.
It's called VLLO?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'll drop one too. My wife put me on. It's called SaveTalk.app. And so what I use that for is to save TikToks without the watermarks.
Yes.
Because you know you want to take it from TikTok and put it on Instagram, but you don't want that TikTok watermark bouncing around. SaveTalk.app. You just type it into your browser, put the link of your TikTok, and you can download it right there.
I need to save that one too, because I go through a whole long process to save.
So it's SaveTalk.app. Use that in your browser. Super good one.